Hello, 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 and welcome to the 51st video of the series we have get going. The featured movie of the week is none other than Leap. This is honestly an amazing, amazing, amazing movie, and it's all about, just taking a leap in life. With that being said, watch this movie, but the topic of the week is adding decimals. And this is also a relatively easy concept if you know how to add numbers. If you just know how to add numbers, not even decimal wise, this will seem pretty simple and straightforward to you. Just bringing in, decimals. That's it. So, let's just add numbers. Let's just add numbers. And we will be adding numbers using the column method. So you know how they're in columns, rows. We will be adding numbers like this. You are very familiar with this. We will not be adding numbers like this. And we're not going to be adding numbers with a box. I've seen many things like that. Preferably, I want to stay away from that because this one is honestly the most straightforward one. It's the one that I still use till this day. It's the one that many other people use. And it's just the one that you are so familiar with. So, we would add these numbers. We would get a 5 and then a 5. If we had this number and this number, we would have a 1 here. Put the 1 up there. And then have a 6. You know this stuff already. This isn't something new. The new stuff is what are we going to do when we add these? Well, the only thing that you really have to know is that the decimals line up. The decimal doesn't change. Everything else stays the same. We just add numbers. So that's all. That's it. That's it. I can't tell you anything more. If we have these two numbers, the decimal stays in the same spot. The decimal doesn't change. That is the key to this topic. You know how to add. You know that 7, 7 makes 14. So we put the 4 here, 1 up there, makes 7. So we add 1, 8. And then we have 5, so it's 58.4. You know this stuff already. You've been doing this since kindergarten. This isn't something new. The new part is that we just threw a decimal here. And the only thing you need to know about that new thing is that it stays the same in the answer. It's in the same spot. Decimal doesn't change in the answer. You don't add decimals together. No, you don't add decimals. You add the numbers around them and you just keep it the same. Everything is in columns. You see how this is the column method? Everything is in columns. So this number, the decimal, since the decimal is in a column, it stays the same in the answer. It's honestly the only thing new, because I could have wrote it like this, right? And you would have had an easy time adding it. So what I would do is I would first know where the decimal is. So it's over here. And then I would be like, all right, fine. Imagine there's no more decimals then. And just add there was this. So now I would add it. Since the decimal goes here in between this number and that number, I would just put it there. So let's just say I had these two numbers. Well, I know the decimal goes here. And let's just imagine that the decimal isn't even here now. So I'm going to draw a line for where the decimal is. So I remember. So I don't get lost and I put, multiple numbers that shouldn't be there. So this makes 12, 7, 8, and 5. 58.2. So that's literally all you can do. You can just picture that you could just get rid of the decimals with a line and then just picture what you're doing like this. It is that simple. The next new thing that I want to talk about is what happens when we're adding these two numbers. Well, what do we do now? Uh-oh. The decimals are not in the same column anymore. What do we do? Well, the advice is this. If the digits in the number are different, like this has 3 numbers and this only has 2, and the previous examples that we've been looking at are all the same. This has 3, this has 3, this has 3, this has 3. But once we get to difference, once they become different, I don't think you're going to see it in the worksheets, but you're probably going to see it in the Khan Academy games. When they're different, all we have to do is line up the decimals. So if I have a 3.1, then I want the decimal to be here. So it just look like this. And we add it. That simple. It is that simple. So let's say I gave you this. These two numbers. This is number 1, number 2. Add them. Well, first thing I would do is line up the decimals. Like that. Then I would put second number, there's a 2 and a 1 and then a 5. This one has a 1. There's a 2, a 4, and a 3. Now some of you are like, uh-oh, Nadav, there's no number here. And I would be like, okay, if I had this, uh-oh, there's no number here. What would you do? Exactly. You didn't care. You'd acted like this was a 0. So just act like this is a 0. You'd bring down the 1, make this a 3. Decimal places get conserved in its column. Imagine you can draw a line to get rid of the decimal place, but to remember that these are the sides of the decimal. 7, and then 4 and a 3, because remember, these are zeros, just like you would do over here. So the answer is 347.31. Now, some of you, when you looked at these two, you're like, uh-oh, these are 2. This is a big number, and these numbers, have different things going on. This one has a 2 and a 1 after the decimal place. This only has a 1. This is a 342 after to the left of it, and this only has a 5. I don't know what's going on, but relax. You know what to do. You know the column method. Just line up your decimals like we did over here, and everything else will come through. So the first thing, I don't even care if they both have 3 digits, because I could write it like this. But we can't add these, because we would actually have to line them up like this. So just be careful. Even though they both have 3, the decimal places are in different spots in the numbers. So just be very careful. So the first thing I would always do is I would line up my decimals, and the rest. This is 0, this is 0. And then you just add. The rest, what you're doing. All that I'm teaching you is the decimal stuff. Align the decimals. Align the decimals. That is the key of this lesson. First thing you do, just align your decimals and then bring down that decimal. Draw a line and bring down that decimal because it stays in the same spot. So you know how to do this you know how to actually add and bring the 1s over, and then, carry, have a 9 here. You have to bring a 1, so then this becomes 0. You know what to do with that. What I'm here is to talk about the decimal stuff. And the decimal stuff that you really need to know, align your decimals. That's it. Just align your decimals and the rest. Align your decimals, bring down that decimal to the same spot, draw that line, and the rest will come through. Obviously, if you do not know how to add with columns, that kind of method too well, probably use this video as a little refresher, or just get your toes in the water, I would say. If you're still confused, try watching the video again. If you're still confused, you could worksheets always try to help. But we do have videos on addition with columns, just regular numbers. We have videos on like 115 plus, 64. We have videos on this without decimals. So if you're really not understanding this topic of just the addition part, because the addition part I'm not focused on, but if the addition part is what's troubling you, then please, please, please look back at our videos. But if you're still struggling, please, please, please feel free and do not hesitate to contact me. So, alright guys, hope you enjoyed this little video here. Stay safe, stay cool, and stay learning. Bye-bye.